Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as we sow some tomato seeds. So let's go. I live in New Hampshire. I garden in USDA Zone 5B. Based on my zip code, my average last frost date is around May 15th. Today is March 20th. Happy first day of spring. I'm so excited. Spring is in the air, and I'm about 8 weeks away from my average last frost date. This 8 week mark is very critical for me, and the reason is every year I run out of space under my grow lights around this time. 8 weeks is about when I can start a whole bunch of different seeds indoors. And I never get to it because I run out of space. So I'm trying to be very strategic this year with how I start my seeds and with moving plants around to make room for new plants that I want to start from seed. And I'd love to know, am I the only one or are you also running into the same situation? And how do you get around that problem? Please drop it in the comments below because maybe other people are running into the same problem, and if you have any tips that you want to share, I'd love to hear them. Way back when I used to start my tomatoes from seed, I always used to start them too early. And the reason was I wanted a nice, big, huge tomato plant, and I wanted to be able to get my tomatoes earlier in the season. And what I found was sometimes it's not a good idea, especially with tomatoes, to start them too early. You want to start them about the recommended time that's stated on your seed package or that you can find on the internet. Because if you start your plants, especially tomatoes, too early, in the end, you might not have a very productive plant. So when it comes to tomato seeds, you want to start them somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks before your average last frost date. And seeing that I'm 8 weeks from my average last frost date, it's a great time for me to be starting these seeds. When it comes to starting seeds, you don't want to start them based on your hardiness zone. You want to start them based on your average last frost date. In other words, you and I can both live in the same hardiness zone, but our average last frost dates might be different. If you don't know what your average last frost date is, go to the website linked listed below, put in your zip code. It should tell you what that date is. There's also a map on there that's pretty accurate that you can check out. Or you can just do a quick internet search on when is my average last frost date and put in your location. I want to share a couple of important facts when it comes to tomatoes in case you don't know them. There are some plants out there that it's not okay to plant them deeper. Tomatoes are definitely a plant that it's okay to plant them deeper. In fact, they appreciate it. And the plant easily roots up along its stem as you plant it deeper. The next thing I wanted to share, and this is something that I didn't know for many years when I was gardening, is that there are two main categories when we talk about tomatoes. There's determinate as well as indeterminate. Determinate plants reach a fixed size and they produce all their fruit, or in this case, tomatoes, all at the same time. Indeterminate plants keep on growing. They don't really have a fixed size, and they produce fruit or tomatoes all season long. And that's a very important thing to know, because if you have a small space, or if you're trying to grow tomatoes in a container, then a determinate tomato would be a better choice. The other thing I wanted to share was when it comes to planting your tomatoes out in the ground, don't make the mistake of planting them too early. Tomatoes don't like it too cold, and even though you might be planting a lot of other things in your garden as your last frost date approaches, when it comes to tomato plants, you want to hold off a little bit. It's better to actually plant out your tomato plants at least 1 or 2 weeks after your average last frost date has passed. I can't wait to show you the tomato seeds that I'll be sowing this year and my process for sowing the seeds. I have a backyard plant nursery, so I will be growing a lot of tomatoes, not only from my own home garden, but also to sell as part of my backyard plant nursery. A number of these tomatoes right here were recommended by many of you, so I went ahead and purchased them, and I'm excited to try them out this year. This one is called Black Crim. I got the seeds from M.I. Gardner. It has about 25 seeds in it, and that's what the back of the seed packet looks like. The Black Crim tomato is indeterminate. I am planning to collect my own seeds at the end of the season, and I'll show you my process for that. And you can see here that this is an heirloom variety, which means I should be able to collect the seeds from it. And right here it says to start the seeds 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. And generally, tomato seeds take about 1 to 2 weeks to germinate. And it tells you here what the soil temperature is. And for this reason, I will be starting my seeds on a seedling heat mat. All different tomatoes mature at different times. And when they say days to maturity, that's when you get your tomato plant planted outside. That begins day 1. It's not starting with the day that you planted your seed indoors. This one is M.I. Gardner. There's about 10 seeds in here. It's called a geranium kiss tomato. That's what the back of the seed packet looks like. The geranium kiss tomato is determinate, and the information down here is very similar to what we already saw on the previous seed packet. I've grown this one before. It's called Tiny Tim, and this is perfect if you actually just want to grow it indoors or outdoors in a pot or a container. It's called dwarf determinate, and that's why I mentioned you could plant this indoors and grow it, let's say, during the winter months. It's a perfect candidate for that. It only grows to be 10 to 12 inches tall. It's definitely a very cute, very sweet little plant. This one here is called Black Prince Tomato, and there are 25 seeds. I also got this from MI Gardener, and that's the information on the back of the seed packet. This is an indeterminate plant, and you'll notice right here it says for soil temperature 70 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely, if you don't have a seedling heat mat, see if there's a way that you can start your tomato seeds in an area where it stays a little warmer, even if it's on top of a refrigerator or anything that gives off a little bit of heat. This one's called Pineapple Tomato. It's from MI Gardener, and it has about 25 seeds in it. And this plant is indeterminate, and that's what the back of the seed packet looks like. I have 2 of these seed packets. My friend who has a backyard plant nursery asked me to grow on some tomato plants as well as other plants for her so that she can sell them as part of her nursery, and she was kind enough to also give me seeds from my nursery. These are called a Big Mama tomato. Next, I have some seeds that I got from a local garden center close to me called Agway, and these are the Burpee Big Boy. And here's what it says on the back of the seed packet. These seeds are a little bit old, so we'll see what the germination rate is on them. The other thing I want to point out is notice that it does not say on the seed packet if it's determinate or indeterminate. You can always find that information if you just do an internet search, so just know that. These tomatoes I got for free from Baker Creek probably a few years ago. They're called Thorburns Terracotta. I did notice a few websites that I looked at said you can start your tomato seeds even as early as 10 weeks before your average last frost date. So if you do want to start them earlier, I would say even 10 weeks might be fine, but I'm okay starting them around 8 weeks before my last frost date. And here's some more additional information on the back of the seed packet. So if you're starting your seeds in a room that's very, very cold, that right there tells you your seeds may germinate, but they might be really slow to germinate. You want to make sure that the room that you're starting your seeds in is at least 75 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere in that ballpark. And again, it does not state on here if this is a determinate or indeterminate variety. So if I really cared to look that up, I could always find that information on the internet. Here are Burpee Roma tomato seeds, and I got these locally at Ocean State Job Lot. It's a store that's pretty much in the New England area, and all the seeds there are usually 40% off, which is a really good deal. And that's the information on the back of the seed packet. And right here it says it's a compact determinate plant. And due to the fact that it's a determinate plant that's compact, it would be a perfect candidate for a container or a pot. And these are Ferrymore Gardener's Delight cherry tomatoes. The seeds are also a little bit old, but that's fine. And they're an indeterminate type of tomato. You'll notice on the back of the seed packet, it doesn't say anything on here about the soil temperature needed for the seeds to germinate. That's why it is so important. A lot of times when you buy packets of seed, they might not have all the information that you actually need. It's always good to just do that additional amount of research before you sow any seed. These I got for free from Seeds and Such a few years ago, and all it says is it's a 42-day tomato. And the interesting thing to point out on this seed packet is nowhere on here does it say when the seeds were packaged. So again, it's so important to, like, if I really cared, I probably should have written down the year that I bought these seeds. I know that it was within the last 2 years, but nevertheless, that information is missing on here, and that is very important information. And there's just some very generic information on the back of the seed packet having to do with tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, and such. So for that reason, I will just start these seeds like I'm going to start the rest of the seeds, and we'll find out how these tomatoes do. I got these from the Dollar Tree. You can't go wrong for the price. 4 for $1.25. They are Roma tomatoes. And even though I already have Roma tomatoes, I wanted to see how do the Dollar Tree seeds do. I will report back to you because I think that's important to know that. A lot of you have told me that Dollar Tree seeds are the best. One or two people have said, no, they're not. So I want to know for myself, and I will let you know how these seeds do in terms of germination. And that's the information on the back of the seed packet. And again, it says right here, it's a determinate type of plant. It also does not say anything in terms of the soil temperature, but we've already talked about how important that is for the seeds to germinate. And right here, it says the seeds can be sown directly into the garden when the soil is warm. I personally like to start my tomato plants indoors. You can start them outdoors if you want to, but you will not get a harvest nice and early. You might get it later in the season. And some people do that. Some people succession plant their tomatoes for that reason, because maybe you start some seeds early and then blight takes them out during the middle of the season. And then you can have these seeds that you sowed directly in your garden come up later, and that way you're having tomatoes all season long. So that is something to consider. But for me personally, I would prefer not to direct sow them. My growing season is quite short, so it's my preference to start the seeds indoors. And if I wanted to, I could start more seeds during the middle of the summer indoors and plant those out should the blight or something take out some of my tomato plants. So that's also something to think about. Here I have some seed starting mix. I like to make my own seed starting mix, and I'll put a link to a video down in the description. It's basically 2 parts of peat moss, but you can use cocoa coir, to 1 part of very fine vermiculite. And then I add a small pinch of dolomite lime, which helps offset the pH of the peat moss. I also poured boiling hot water on my seed starting mix. You want to use pre-moistened seed starting mix, but also the boiling hot water helps kill any possible fungus gnat eggs that might be in here. When I squeeze my seed starting mix, notice there's no water dripping out. But when I let go, it's holding its form. And that's the right consistency that you want for your seed starting or potting mix. I'll be using seed starting mix to start my tomato seeds. However, you can use potting mix. Since the seeds are quite large, they would be fine in either seed starting mix or potting mix. I like to use restaurant takeout containers because honestly, they're free to me and they make wonderful little greenhouses. In fact, this one has little vent holes in it, which is wonderful because in case it gets too hot in there. And I did make holes in the bottom of the container because you want to bottom water your seedlings. You don't ever want to water them from above because that can introduce all sorts of problems. So I'm going to go ahead and add my seed starting mix to my container. And now I'm going to press on the seed starting mix. I want to take out any air pockets that might be in there. I don't want to press too hard because I don't want to compact the seed starting mix too much. When it comes to seed starting, I do like to use garden markers because I find that they don't wear off as easily as a pen or a Sharpie. I'll be sowing all the tomato seeds that I showed you today, but together we're going to sow the Big Mama seeds, and I'm putting the date on here. It's always good to put that there just so you know when you started your seeds, so March 20th. In this container, if I wanted to, I could put dividers in the center here, and I could plant different types of tomato seeds. But I plan on sowing a ton of seeds for the Big Mama because I'm doing them for myself as well as for my friend. But for some of the other tomato varieties that I'll be starting, I definitely will be putting dividers in the middle and labeling each type of variety. I would do that with the same type of plant in one container. So for example, all tomatoes. I wouldn't want to do that for a fast growing plant like a tomato and then a very slow growing plant, something like, let's say, a begonia or something else that grows very slowly. Of the 2 seed packets that I have, we're going to sow 1 whole seed packet in there. And that's a lot of seeds right there. And those are very large seeds. I also showed in a previous video that you can start your seeds between a wet paper towel. I've done that before with tomato seeds. And so if you want to save space under your grow lights and get them to germinate between a wet paper towel, you can definitely do that. And I'm very heavily going to be sowing all of these seeds in here. And I don't care that they are very close to each other because it's just a matter of getting the seeds to germinate. That's another reason why I don't like to start my tomatoes too early because they grow fast and then they end up taking up a lot of space under the lights. And they're definitely not a plant that I can then, let's say, move out to my garage. They really need to stay indoors for as long as possible. So we sowed them pretty heavily. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover them with about a 1/4 inch of the seed starting mix. So I'm going to sprinkle it on top. Now it's important to press down. I want to make sure that the seeds make good contact with the soil. Could you sow the seeds in something like a 6 cell pack? Absolutely. Would I recommend sowing the seeds in 3-inch pots? I personally would not recommend it. Is it possible? Yeah, you can do that because maybe you don't want to be potting up so often. But I feel like you can take a lot better care of your seedlings when they're in a smaller pot. That's my own personal preference. So I will be pricking them out individually out of this container, but if you want to skip this step and just put your seeds directly in, let's say, a 6 cell pack, you can do that. We'll give it a nice drink of water. And then I'm going to place the cover on. This will act as a humidity dome. And that is really important. You want to make sure that the soil and the seeds remain moist. And you also want to make sure that it just makes it nice and humid in there, which the seeds will appreciate and it'll help them germinate. You don't have to use something like this, though. You can use something like clear plastic wrap if you want. The tray will get placed on a seedling heat mat that stays on 24 hours a day. And they will also be under grow lights that are on 16 hours a day. They come on at 5 a.m., they go off at 9 p.m. Once I have at least 75 or 80% germination of my seeds, the humidity dome will get removed and the tray will get removed off of the seedling heat mat. But it will remain under the grow lights that are on, again, for 16 hours a day. I'll be sure to make update videos once the seeds have germinated, once I pot them up, get them fertilized, and then plant them out in the landscape. If you had to pick one variety of tomato that you absolutely enjoy, I want to know what it is because I'm looking for some new varieties to start next year. So please drop it down in the comment section below. And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.